So they'll be calling you a radical. We're here at DuPont Circle. Remember, it's the 5th of November. This is important because of all our groups, so many's dead. And speaking of death on remember, and this is historical important. Get it backed up. So on remember the 5th of November, our third big event, the 15th, 2015. I got a tip in New York City. Stay there. I talked to Vice. I had a long talk with Vice. Vice is going to fly out to Utah and do a documentary piece on the cover-up of Fukushima and Kevin Blanch. They're going to come and do it. I says, okay, I'll believe it when I see you. No, you're it. So Vice did that thing when I stayed in New York. I got a tip there's going to be violence and don't go, your life's in danger. I stay right over here with my, I have a activism friend who lets me sleep on the floor. So, on his couch. On the 15th of November, the guy who started RT. Now, RT, this is the irony. You look at those original, when I give the original speech, the camera, that's RT. RT's the only one that gave us any media coverage. But it all about Fukushima. They interview me over and over and over. By the way, Michael Pendleton, who's standing right there with that mask on, is dead. Sarah, who's standing right there next to me, dead. When John Anthony gives that good interview in front of the White House to RT. But Kevin Blanch is, because it's all anti-nuclear. And I'm like, RT are rats. They're Putin's. So the guy who's, now, so you layman's, who is TASS? TASS. Provide. That's the state-run media in the old Soviet Union. It never went away. So the guy who was Putin's Minister of Information, head of TASS, head of Provide, by the way, is a rich oligarch, Russian Jewish oligarch, living in LA while he was Putin's. He lived in Los Angeles. Now think about that one. So he started RT. Why would he be in DC on remember the 5th of November? So he was staying right over there in the hotel. I get word later that day, hey, have you seen this? The head of RT got drunk and fell down and hit his head. He's dead. By the way, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. LA up at the top, 1%er of the 1%ers. So I'm like, what the fuck? Congress opens an investigation. Barbara Boxer, when she was involved, Fukushima. They open an investigation. Did you see this on the mainstream media? The investigation, point blank, comes out and says he was beat to death. So a whistleblower from the CIA, did the KGB beat him to death? He comes out, a CIA whistleblower, and says the CIA beat him to death. And I went to him and I says, the KGB and the CIA are the same people. He says, well, yeah, of course. If Edward Snowden was in Fukushima, Japan, and he's having my baby. Lindsay Mills, the performance artist, who was a CIA stripper here, is pregnant. By the way, Snowjob, you better get a DNA test. My guess is that's Putin's baby. So this is how they play. So Jill Stein, right after that, we're going crazy. I'm saying to her, she's KGB, she's a fraud. Filing the suits on the Hillary to, why would Jill Stein, the Green Party, file suit in the name of the recounts? Then she's Russian. She's a Russian call. Then all of a sudden the picture shows up. There's Flynn. Flynn, yeah, that guy. Sitting next to Putin. Who's sitting next to him? What, Jill Stein? What? She's green? We're the ones that hacked in and put out her stock portfolio. We're the ones that put it out. All environmental terrorist stocks. That's how they play. Sliding with Biden, Trump, in political theater only. By the way, here, 93-7. Think about the White House is in District Columbia. What 90? I mean, we've seen some shit here, ain't we? Whoa! But so it's remember. By the way, in 2015, when I do that pass around the thing, this is how ignorant Vice was. We tricked them, went over to Fox News. You know who's standing there? Got the megaphone? That's AOC. So the young preachers, Iron Mike Tyson, the preacher, in New York. I wish you were here. I hope you got my back. Stan Tunick.